Captain Ryan Carter stood at the edge of the ancient alien temple, his boots sinking slightly into the soft dust that covered the floor. The ruins stretched out before him, tall crystal pillars, strange glowing lines carved into the walls, and massive stone doors that had not opened for thousands of years. The air was still and heavy, yet full of energy. His team had come here to study unusual energy readings that had recently appeared on their scanners. Ryan's team belonged to the United Earth Expeditionary Force, a group of scientists, engineers, and explorers sent to study distant planets. Their mission was to explore the ruins of a long-lost civilization known as the Seraphim, an alien race that had vanished centuries ago. "Captain, the readings are off the charts," said Dr. Mia Chen, the team's lead scientist. Her scanner beeped wildly as bright blue lines formed on her display. "Whatever is inside that chamber, it's active," Ryan nodded. "All right, everyone stay sharp. Keep the safety shields on and stay behind cover until we know what we're dealing with." They moved slowly toward the main chamber, guided by the light from their helmets. The floor glittered as if made of crushed glass. Strange symbols glowed faintly under their feet. The deeper they went, the more they felt the hum of energy vibrating through the walls. At the center of the temple stood a massive crystal cocoon, almost twice the height of a human. It pulsed with soft golden light, surrounded by tall spires that seemed to feed energy into it. "What is that?" whispered Lieutenant Harper, Ryan's second in command. Dr. Chen crouched beside the control platform. "It looks like some kind of containment pod. But the energy signature—" "It's alive," Ryan frowned. "Alive? You mean something's inside it?" Before she could answer, the lights in the chamber began to flicker. The ground trembled beneath their feet. Everyone stepped back as a surge of power erupted from the cocoon. The room was filled with blinding light. "Get back," Ryan shouted, but it was too late. A beam of white energy shot upward, reaching the ceiling and then spreading across the walls like lightning. The crystal pillars flared with power. The strange symbols under their boots began to glow brighter, forming a ring around the cocoon. Then, the cocoon cracked. Pieces of glowing crystal fell to the ground, melting away into the dust. Inside, a tall figure slowly rose, her body covered in faint silver armor that shimmered like liquid light. Her eyes opened, bright gold, sharp and full of awareness. The team froze. Nobody spoke. Ryan instinctively took a step forward, raising his hand in a peaceful gesture. "We mean no harm," he said carefully. "We're explorers from Earth." The being tilted her head slightly. Her gaze locked onto Ryan. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm but carried great power. "Human?" Ryan nodded, his heart pounding. "Yes, my name is Captain Ryan Carter. We come in peace." The figure stepped out of the cocoon and looked around the ruined temple. Her expression showed both confusion and sorrow. "How long has it been?" she murmured softly. Ryan didn't answer. He was still trying to understand what he was seeing. The being was clearly not human, but she looked surprisingly close. Tall and graceful, with luminous skin and elegant features. Her presence filled the room with quiet strength. Suddenly, she turned to Ryan again. Her golden eyes seemed to study him closely, as if searching his soul. Then, to everyone's shock, she asked in perfect English, "Are you single, human?" The entire team froze. Even Dr. Chen, who was usually calm under pressure, blinked in disbelief. Ryan almost choked on his words. "Wait, what?" The alien's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. "It is a simple question. Are you unattached?" Lieutenant Harper coughed awkwardly. Captain, I think she's talking to you personally." Ryan tried to stay professional, though his cheeks turned red. "Ma'am, I think there's been a misunderstanding. We're here to study your, technology, not to, discuss relationships." The alien woman looked genuinely puzzled by his reaction. "Then why do you awaken me, human captain?" Ryan exhaled slowly. "We didn't mean to. We were scanning for energy signals. We didn't expect to wake anyone." The alien's expression softened. She looked around the ruined chamber again. "You stand within the heart chamber of the Seraphim Empire," she said. "I am Queen Zelyara, last of the royal bloodline." The team exchanged surprised glances. They had found a living member of a race thought extinct for centuries. Ryan stepped forward, keeping his tone respectful. "Your Majesty, we didn't know anyone was still alive here. Humanity means you no harm." Queen Zelyara's eyes glowed faintly. "Humanity," she whispered, tasting the word as if it were something new. Your kind was unknown to us before the silence. The silence? Dr. Chen asked quietly. The end, the Queen replied sadly. Our worlds burned. Our stars dimmed. We sought a savior foretold by prophecy, one who carried the flame of life in his heart. A being from beyond the stars, but no one came. Her gaze returned to Ryan. Until now. Ryan frowned. You think I'm part of your prophecy? The Queen didn't answer immediately. She reached out her hand and the air shimmered. A holographic image appeared. A tall human figure surrounded by light standing before a dying sun. The resemblance to Ryan was undeniable. Legend spoke of the heart of flame, she said softly, a being from another world who would restore balance to the Seraphim core, the energy that sustains our kind. Dr. Chen looked amazed. Captain, she's saying you're the key to restarting their energy source. Ryan shook his head. That can't be right. I'm just an engineer, not some chosen savior. The Queen smiled faintly. You underestimate yourself, human. Before anyone could respond, the ground began to shake again. Dust fell from the ceiling as alarms on their suits beeped wildly. The energy readings were spiking. What's happening? Harper shouted. Dr. Chen glanced at her scanner. The core is destabilizing. That activation must have triggered a chain reaction. Ryan turned to the Queen. Can you stop it? Zelyara closed her eyes, concentrating. The symbols on the walls flickered, but they were too weak. The power has faded for too long, she said. Without restoration, this world will collapse. Ryan looked around at his team. We have to stabilize the system manually. Dr. Chen, Harper, find the control nodes. I'll help her with the core. The Queen gave him a curious look. You would risk your life for a dying world, not your own? Ryan managed a small smile. That's what humans do, Your Majesty. We fix things, even when they're broken. For the first time, Zelyara's expression changed from sorrow to admiration. She nodded slowly. Then perhaps the prophecy was right. Working together, the humans and the Queen rerouted power lines, redirected energy conduits, and activated dormant systems. The temple groaned as the lights grew brighter. The walls pulsed with life again. After several tense minutes, the tremors stopped. The room settled into a calm golden glow. Dr. Chen exhaled. Core stabilized. Energy output is normal. Ryan turned to Zelyara. That should hold for now. The Queen looked at him with quiet wonder. Your courage and skill saved what little remains of my people's legacy. Tell me, human captain, what drives you to act without fear? Ryan thought for a moment, then smiled. Maybe it's just part of being human. We don't like giving up. Zelyara tilted her head again, her golden eyes shimmering with something between curiosity and admiration. Then humanity must be stronger than I imagined. She paused, then added softly, Perhaps human. Our fates are more connected than you know. As the golden light filled the temple, Ryan felt a strange calm wash over him. He didn't yet understand why the Queen had called him the Heart of Flame, or why she had asked such a strange question when they first met. But deep down he knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning. The golden light inside the heart chamber slowly faded as systems returned to normal. The temple's hum became a soft rhythm, steady and calm. Captain Ryan Carter looked around, amazed at how the once-dead ruins were now alive again. Queen Zelyara stood near the glowing crystal core, her tall figure shining in the reflected light. She looked peaceful but thoughtful, her golden eyes studying Ryan as if she were trying to understand every part of him. You have done what my best engineers could not, she said softly. You awakened the heart and gave it breath again. Ryan smiled tiredly. We just redirected some power. It wasn't magic, just teamwork. Zelyara tilted her head slightly. Teamwork. An interesting word. Humans value cooperation more than dominance. Dr. Mia Chen and Lieutenant Harper walked up, wiping dust from their suits. Captain, we've finished scanning the outer halls, Dr. Chen reported. The power is stable now. It looks like the temple's defense systems are rebooting too. Ryan frowned. Defense systems? Before anyone could ask further, parts of the walls opened, revealing tall metal guards, ancient Seraphim sentinels. Their eyes glowed blue, but instead of attacking, they knelt before Queen Zelyara, recognizing her as their rightful ruler. The Queen raised her hand in acknowledgement. Rise, my faithful protectors. Sleep again until I summon you. The sentinels bowed and returned to their alcoves. The walls sealed behind them, leaving only silence. Dr. Chen whispered, She really is their queen. Ryan nodded, still trying to process everything. Looks like we woke up royalty. Zelyara's lips curved into a small smile. You speak as though it is a burden. Ryan laughed softly. I've worked with a few politicians on Earth. Royalty isn't so different, except you actually seem to care. Her eyes shimmered faintly. Care is what keeps rulers from becoming monsters, Captain. For a moment, the room fell quiet. Then the Queen motioned for them to follow. Come, there is more you must understand. The Hall of Memories. The group followed Zelyara through long corridors lined with carvings and holographic murals. The walls depicted the history of the Seraphin Empire, a proud civilization that once ruled dozens of star systems. They saw golden ships sailing through nebulae, planets shining with towers of light, and Seraphins standing tall, graceful and wise. But as they walked further, the images darkened. War, fire, whole worlds burning. Zelyara's tone became quiet and heavy. Long ago we were the keepers of peace, but pride blinded us. We believed we were eternal, untouchable. Then came the cataclysm. She stopped before a mural showing a massive dark sphere devouring stars, an enemy born from our own mistakes. The Void Harvesters, machines that consumed energy, life, and even light itself. We fought them for centuries. In the end, they took everything. Ryan looked at her. And you survived? Barely, Zelyara replied. I entered stasis within the heart chamber, hoping that one day someone might restore the core and awaken me. Her gaze turned to Ryan again. And that someone was you. Dr. Chen looked at the Queen with awe. Your people must have been so advanced. But why did your systems respond to him specifically? Zelyara walked to a crystal pedestal and activated it. A hologram appeared, two figures standing side by side. One was clearly Seraphin. The other looked human. Ryan blinked. That's impossible. Humans weren't even exploring space back then. The Queen's eyes softened. Perhaps your kind came from a place beyond time. Or perhaps our ancestors met yours long before memory began. Ryan rubbed his chin. So the prophecy you mentioned before, it said someone like me would restore your people? Yes, she said. But the prophecy spoke not only of power, it spoke of unity. Of two races that would rebuild the light together. Ryan folded his arms. Unity between Seraphin and humans? The Queen gave a graceful nod. Yes. You carry something in your spirit that the Seraphin lost long ago, hope. That is why I asked you that question when I first saw you. Ryan chuckled awkwardly. You mean the "are you single" thing? Her golden eyes glowed with humor. Yes, it was not a romantic question as your team assumed. It was ceremonial, meant to ask whether your kind stands alone or is willing to bond with others. Ryan laughed. Well, that makes more sense. But I have to admit, you gave us quite a shock. I noticed, she said with a faint smile. But the question remains, will your people stand beside mine? Ryan hesitated. That's a big decision. I can't speak for all of humanity. But I can promise this, we're not enemies. If there's a way to help your people rebuild, we'll do what we can. Zelyara seemed to study his face for a long moment. Then she said softly, That is all I hope to hear. An ancient machine. The group continued deeper into the temple until they reached a giant circular platform. In the center stood a device shaped like a flower made of light, its petals broken, its core dark. This is the stellar core, said the Queen. It was once the heart of our civilization. It drew power from nearby stars and shared it with our worlds. Without it, our empire faded. Ryan examined the machinery. Looks like it's missing something, a stabilizer maybe? Dr. Chen checked her tablet. The central crystal is cracked. It can't regulate energy flow anymore. The Queen nodded. Yes, that crystal was forged from our sun's essence. It cannot be repaired by Seraphin hands. Ryan looked at the energy conduits around it. Maybe not. But human tech uses adaptive fusion control. If we connect our power cells in series, we might rebuild the stabilizer field. Zelyara raised an eyebrow. You believe you can repair what our greatest minds could not? Ryan shrugged. I can try. Humans fix things, even ancient alien reactors. A hint of admiration touched her expression. Then do so, Heart of Flame. Show me this courage your species holds. Ryan and his team began working. Hours passed as they connected cables, adjusted energy regulators, and reprogrammed the alien interface. It was difficult, but the challenge excited Ryan. This was what he lived for. At one point, Zelyara watched him closely and said, You risk much for a people not your own. Why? Ryan smiled without looking up. Because that's what makes us human. We don't just survive, we help others survive too. The Queen said nothing, but there was warmth in her eyes that hadn't been there before. The spark of trust. Finally, Ryan stepped back. All right, we're ready. Let's see if it works. He activated the system. The floor trembled as energy surged through the conduits. For a moment, everything was dark. Then a pulse of light shot through the chamber. The broken crystal flickered, then began to glow steadily. The stellar core was alive again. Blue and gold light filled the temple, spreading through the walls like veins of fire. The hum of power returned stronger than ever. It's working, Dr. Chen shouted. Zelyara's expression turned from disbelief to wonder. You truly did it. She stepped closer to the glowing core, her voice almost trembling. For ages I dreamed of this light, and now a human brings it back. Ryan wiped the sweat from his forehead. We just gave it a little push. The rest was already there, waiting. The Queen looked at him for a long time. Perhaps, human, your kind was destined to awaken ours. Then she did something unexpected. She bowed slightly before him. On behalf of the Seraphim, I offer you my trust, Captain Ryan Carter. Ryan was taken aback. Your Majesty, you don't have to— I do, she said gently. For you have shown me that hope can come from even the smallest spark. For the first time, Ryan saw her smile. Not a royal smile, but a real one, full of gratitude. As the team packed their gear, the Queen turned to Ryan one last time. There is still much to learn and danger yet to come. But tonight my world breathes again, and it began with a single question. Ryan grinned. Yeah, that was quite an introduction. The Queen's golden eyes softened. Then let it be remembered, human, that the first bond between our kinds began not with war but with curiosity. Days passed since the awakening of the stellar core. The once dead Seraphim temple now glowed with renewed energy. Streams of golden light flowed through its walls like living veins, powering ancient halls that had been silent for centuries. Captain Ryan Carter and his team worked side by side with Queen Zelyara and her people, learning about Seraphim technology and history. The humans had set up a small research base near the temple, using equipment from their shuttle to analyze data and record every discovery. Ryan stood on a balcony overlooking the valley outside. The skies were soft purple, with two suns hanging low above the horizon. The beauty of the world made him forget for a moment that he was light years away from home. Lieutenant Harper joined him, carrying a tablet. Captain, the latest energy readings show a stable flow. Whatever you and the Queen did to the core, it's holding. Ryan smiled. That's good news. Maybe we can finally tell Command we found something worth celebrating. Harper grinned. You mean besides waking up an alien queen who talks about unity and hope? Ryan chuckled. Yeah, that too. The Queen's vision inside the heart chamber. Queen Zelyara stood before the glowing core. Her attendants, few remaining Seraphim who had survived in stasis pods, were now awake and slowly recovering. They looked weaker and fewer than Ryan had expected, but their eyes shone with gratitude and respect for their queen. When Ryan entered, Zelyara turned to him with her usual calm grace. Captain Carter, she said, your people's knowledge has helped us greatly. My scientists speak highly of your methods, Ryan smiled. We're glad to help, Your Majesty. But this alliance goes both ways. Humanity can learn a lot from you too. The Queen nodded slowly. Yes, we are learning from you already. Your courage, your humor, your will to survive. Her tone softened. It has been long since I felt such hope in my heart. Ryan hesitated before speaking. I think hope is something humans are good at creating, especially when everything seems lost. The Queen studied him for a moment. Perhaps that is why the stars chose you. Before Ryan could answer, a loud sound echoed through the chamber, a low hum that grew into a sharp vibration. The core flickered for a second before stabilizing again. Dr. Mia Chen, who was running diagnostics, frowned. That was strange. Some external interference just spiked the readings. The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly. External? Yes, Dr. Chen said. Something is draining power from the outer conduits. Ryan turned serious. We better check it out. Harper, grab your team. The shadow in the halls, the corridors were dim, flickering with unstable energy. Ryan's team followed the faint signals on their scanners until they reached the outer chambers of the temple. The walls were lined with inactive sentinels, tall machines that once protected the Seraphim royals. Then one of the sentinels moved. Its blue eyes flickered to red. Without warning, it stepped forward, raising an energy spear. "Contact!" Harper shouted, diving for cover. Ryan fired his plasma sidearm, hitting the machine's chest. The blast only staggered it. The sentinel swung its spear, but Harper rolled aside and fired again. Sparks burst from its armor, and it collapsed with a loud crash. When the dust settled, Ryan examined the wreckage. This wasn't supposed to happen. The Queen said they were under her control. Harper checked the internal circuits. "It's been tampered with. Someone reprogrammed it," Ryan frowned. "Someone?" A voice echoed from the corridor. "Someone who remembers what the Seraphim were meant to be." From the shadows stepped a tall Seraphim warrior clad in dark silver armor. His face was sharp and cold, his eyes glowing a faint red. "Commander Vector," said Zelyara's voice as she entered the hall behind them, followed by 2 guards. Her tone was firm but calm. "You should have remained in stasis." The commander bowed slightly but did not lower his weapon. "My queen, you woke the heart, and with it the past. But you have allowed these humans to touch our sacred systems. You shame our ancestors." Ryan spoke calmly. "We're not your enemies. We're helping your people survive." Vector's gaze was full of disdain. "Help? You are parasites. The queen trusts too easily." Zelyara's eyes glowed faintly. "Enough. These humans saved us when no one else could. Show them respect." The commander's jaw tightened. "Respect is earned, not given." He turned to leave, but not before saying, "Be careful. My queen, a fire that burns too bright can destroy what it seeks to warm." As his footsteps faded, Ryan looked at Zelyara. "You think he means trouble?" Her expression was unreadable. He was once a great warrior, loyal but proud. He believes strength is purity. He does not understand compassion. Ryan sighed. "Then we'd better watch our backs." Tensions rising over the next few days, the atmosphere grew tense. Vector and his followers avoided contact with the humans, often glaring as they passed. Small accidents began happening. Energy surges, damaged tools, security systems shutting off unexpectedly. Dr. Chen grew worried. "Captain, I think someone is sabotaging our work. Every time we fix a system, another fails." Ryan clenched his fists. "That's no coincidence." He met with the Queen privately. "Your Majesty, I think Vector is planning something. He doesn't trust us, and maybe he's trying to make you doubt us too." Zelyara looked tired but strong. "I fear you may be right, but open conflict among my people would destroy what little unity we have left." Ryan nodded slowly. "Then we'll have to be careful. If we push too hard, it might start a war." The Queen studied him closely. "You speak like a leader who has faced war before." Ryan gave a small, sad smile. "I've seen what pride and fear can do. They can destroy entire worlds." For a moment their eyes met, and an unspoken understanding passed between them. 2 leaders trying to protect what little remained. The attack. That night, the temple shook. Explosions echoed through the corridors. Ryan jumped to his feet as alarms blared across the human base. "Status report," he shouted over the comms. "Unknown hostiles, Captain." Harper's voice came through. Multiple energy signatures inside the West Wing. Ryan grabbed his weapon and ran toward the chaos. Sparks flew from the walls as energy blasts tore through the air. Human soldiers and Seraphim loyalists fought side by side against Vector's followers, who had seized several defense turrets. The Queen appeared amid the fight, her presence commanding. Her guards surrounded her as she called out, "Vector, stop this madness!" But the commander only sneered. "You have forgotten what it means to be Seraphim. You serve a lesser species." He raised his weapon toward Ryan. "I will end this alliance now." Ryan barely dodged the shot as it hit the wall beside him. He rolled behind cover and returned fire, forcing Vector back. The Queen raised her hand, sending a wave of energy that shattered the commander's spear. "Enough!" she shouted. "You fight the wrong enemy." But Vector pressed a button on his wrist. The temple's lights flickered as the core's energy flow began to destabilize again. Ryan's heart pounded. "He's overloading the core. He'll blow up the entire temple." The Queen turned to Ryan. "Can you stop it?" Ryan nodded firmly. "I'll try, but I'll need time." Zelyara stepped in front of him. "Then I will buy it for you." She faced her former commander and said with royal authority, "You once swore to protect me, Vector. Now you would destroy what remains of our world?" "Stand down!" But Vector shouted, "If our world cannot be pure, it deserves to die." The human spirit, While the Queen held Vector's attention, Ryan sprinted toward the control console. Sparks and data streams filled the air as he typed commands, rerouting power from the unstable conduits. "Come on," he muttered. "Hold together." Dr. Chen's voice came through his earpiece. "You're almost there, Captain. Just stabilize the second link." Outside, Vector charged at the Queen, but Ryan's team intervened, covering her with suppressive fire. The commander was powerful but outnumbered and cornered. Finally, Ryan slammed the final key. "System reset complete." The core's energy stabilized, its golden light returning. The tremors stopped. Vector fell to his knees, defeated. His soldiers dropped their weapons. The Queen looked at him sadly. "You have lost your way, old friend." The commander bowed his head. "Perhaps I have, but I will not kneel to humans." He turned and fled into the shadows, disappearing beyond the temple's gates. Ryan walked over to the Queen, catching his breath. "That was too close." She looked at him, eyes full of emotion. "You risked everything again, human, even when my own people turned against you." Ryan smiled faintly. "We don't give up on our friends, Your Majesty." The Queen studied him for a long moment before saying softly, "Then perhaps humanity truly is the heart of flame." As the core's golden glow filled the chamber once more, the fragile alliance between two worlds began to heal, but the shadow of betrayal still lingered beyond the horizon. The golden light of the stellar core bathed the heart chamber in a warm glow, but the victory Ryan Carter and Queen Zeliara had won felt fragile. Even after the chaos of Vector's failed coup, whispers of discontent ran through the Seraphin people. Not all of them had witnessed Vector's defeat, and some still feared that humans were a threat to their ancient civilization. Ryan walked through the temple's halls with Dr. Mia Chen and Lieutenant Harper, checking energy conduits and systems for any damage caused during the skirmish. Sparks from overloaded circuits still lingered in the air, and the smell of ozone was heavy. "This place survived a lot," Ryan said, glancing at the massive crystal walls. "But one wrong move and it could all collapse." Dr. Chen adjusted her helmet light. "It's amazing this core even works after centuries, but if anyone tampers with it again..." Ryan nodded. "We can't take chances. We need to secure the systems and make sure the people here understand why humans are here to help, not to harm." Vector strikes. Again, while Ryan's team worked, Vector was already plotting his next move. Hiding in the shadows beyond the temple, he spoke to a group of loyal Seraphin soldiers who had refused to follow the Queen's orders. "We lost this battle, but the war is not over," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "The humans cannot be trusted. They meddle in our legacy and claim our core as their own. Soon I will show them that the Seraphin are not to be ruled by outsiders." A younger Seraphin whispered, "Commander, the Queen is well protected. How will we succeed?" Vector's golden eyes gleamed with determination. "We strike at the heart. The core's energy is unstable for humans. One surge, one failure, and they will see the cost of interference. Then, humanity will understand that the Seraphin Empire is ours alone." A calm before the storm. The next morning, Queen Zeliara summoned Ryan and his team to the throne chamber. Her expression was solemn, the glow from the core reflecting off her luminous skin. "Captain Carter," she began, her voice steady. "Despite your successes, there are still those among my people who do not trust you. Vector's influence lingers. We must act carefully." Ryan frowned. "Do you think he's planning another attack?" The Queen nodded. "Yes. I have received reports of unauthorized energy fluctuations in the core's outer conduits. If not contained, the entire system could fail. We must prepare." Dr. Chen studied her tablet. "The core can handle small surges, but a coordinated attack could overload it completely." "It's dangerous." Ryan clenched his fist. "Then we'll be ready." "We've survived worse before." Zeliara's eyes softened. "Your courage humbles me, human. But courage alone will not be enough. We must work together, humans and Seraphin alike." Preparing for battle, the team quickly organized defenses. Human engineers rigged energy dampeners along the core's outer conduits, while Seraphin loyalists reactivated dormant sentinels to patrol the halls. Ryan led a group of volunteers through the corridors, ensuring all critical systems were monitored. "We need to be ready for anything," Ryan said. "Vector will come from the shadows. We can't predict where he'll strike first." Harper adjusted his weapon. "We'll handle him. Humans are good at thinking on their feet." Celiara approached Ryan as he checked a power node. Captain, I sense your determination. But do not forget, this is more than technology. It is about trust. If we fail to inspire confidence in my people, Vector's influence will grow. Ryan nodded. I know, Your Majesty. We'll earn their trust, one step at a time. The assault begins. By nightfall, the temple was quiet. Outside, twin moons glimmered over the mountains, casting long shadows into the corridors. Suddenly, alarms blared. Ryan and Harper rushed to the control room where Dr. Chen pointed to the monitors. Multiple energy surges in the core's west wing, she shouted. They're attacking the conduits. Ryan grabbed his weapon. Move out! Protect the core! Outside, Vector led a group of loyalists in a coordinated strike. Energy blasts lit up the corridors as sentinels and human defenders engaged them. Sparks flew as machines collided, and the sound of metal scraping against metal echoed throughout the temple. Ryan ran alongside Celiara, who raised her hands and projected a shield of golden energy around the core. The force of the surging energy pushed against her, but she remained steady, her eyes glowing fiercely. Captain? The core is reacting to the surges, Dr. Chen warned over comms. If we don't stabilize it, the entire temple could collapse. Ryan's mind raced. We can't let that happen. Everyone focus on stabilizing the outer nodes. Use the dampeners, quick. Human ingenuity shines. Ryan's team sprang into action. Using human engineering skills, they rerouted power, stabilized the surges, and repaired damaged conduits in record time. Harper coordinated with the Seraphin loyalists, combining human tactics with Seraphin technology. The Queen's eyes shone as she watched humans and Seraphin working side by side. Perhaps this is what the prophecy meant, she murmured. Unity, cooperation, strength beyond what one race alone could achieve. Ryan caught her gaze for a moment. We may come from different worlds, Your Majesty, but when we fight together, we're stronger than any threat. Celiara nodded. Indeed, human, your spirit is remarkable. The final clash, Vector, realizing his initial plan had failed, charged directly toward the core. His energy spear glowed red as he aimed at the heart of the temple. Captain Carter, Celiara shouted. Stop him. Ryan dashed forward, taking cover behind a crystal column. He timed his movement perfectly, rolling forward and using a stabilizer device to divert energy blasts. Sparks flew as he neutralized Vector's attacks. The Queen stepped in, projecting a beam of energy that knocked the commander off balance. You will not harm what we have rebuilt, she shouted. Vector rose, eyes blazing with anger. This alliance is unnatural. Humans are not meant to touch the core. Ryan took a deep breath. Maybe not. But we don't just survive by staying in the shadows. We survive by protecting life, and that includes yours, even if you refuse to see it. With precision, Ryan activated the final sequence of the dampeners. Energy from Vector's attacks was redirected safely into the temple's outer conduits, neutralizing the surge. The core stabilized completely, its golden light brighter than ever. Vector staggered, defeated and exhausted. He fell to his knees, realizing his rebellion had failed. The aftermath. The temple grew quiet once more. The golden glow of the core filled every corner, casting long, reassuring shadows. The loyalists who had followed Vector surrendered, and the remaining sentinels returned to their patrols. Ryan approached Celiara. It's over. For now. The Queen nodded, her eyes soft with relief. Yes, but we must remain vigilant. Even now, the seeds of doubt linger among my people. Trust is fragile, even after victory. Ryan smiled faintly. Then we'll keep showing them. One day at a time. Humans don't give up on friends or allies. Celiara studied him for a long moment. Your people have a resilience I have not seen in centuries. Perhaps humanity truly is the heart of flame. Ryan laughed softly. You've said that before. Maybe it's the truth. The Queen's expression softened, and for the first time she allowed herself a small, genuine smile. Perhaps, Captain Carter. Perhaps it is. Outside, the twin moons shone over the mountains. The temple, once abandoned and broken, now thrummed with life. Humans and Seraphin had fought together, and for the first time in centuries, hope had returned. But in the distance, Ryan sensed something. A faint shimmer beyond the horizon, a reminder that the universe held many dangers and that the journey of trust and unity had only just begun. The temple's golden glow filled the chamber, reflecting off the polished crystal floors. Captain Ryan Carter stood near the stellar core, feeling both relief and exhaustion. The last few days had been a whirlwind of challenges, waking the alien queen, confronting ancient machines, and defending the core from betrayal. But now, at last, the immediate danger had passed. Queen Zeliara stood before him radiant and calm. Her golden eyes reflected the light of the core, and for the first time, Ryan noticed a softness in her presence that had been hidden behind regal authority. "You have done more than awaken our core, Captain," she said softly. "You have restored hope to a dying civilization. For that, the Seraphim will be forever grateful." Ryan shook his head. "I didn't do it alone. Your people helped too. You taught me how to work with the core and its systems. We did this together," Zeliara smiled faintly. "Yes, together." A world reborn outside the temple, the valley had begun to change. Streams of golden energy from the core spread through the surrounding land, healing plants that had been wilted for centuries. Rivers sparkled under the twin moons, and the sky seemed brighter, as if reflecting the hope now flowing through the planet. Dr. Mia Chen and Lieutenant Harper stood with Ryan, watching the transformation. "It's incredible," Dr. Chen said. "This energy is not just sustaining the core, it's revitalizing the entire ecosystem." Harper grinned. "Humans and Seraphim really did something amazing here." Ryan nodded quietly. "It's more than amazing. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, life finds a way to survive." The Queen approached them. "You have not only repaired the core, Captain, but you have also shown my people what it means to trust another species. That is a gift greater than any technology." The final test despite the celebrations. Zeliara had one final challenge for Ryan. She led him to a chamber at the heart of the temple, where a platform of translucent crystal floated above a pool of glowing energy. "This chamber is called the Hall of Reflection," Zeliara explained. "It shows the truth of one's heart. Anyone who stands here must face their greatest fears and desires. It is the final trial of the Heart of Flame." Ryan hesitated. "Trial? I thought the core was the test." Zeliara smiled. "The core tests skill and courage. This chamber tests spirit and intent. You must show that your actions are not for power or fame, but for the good of others." Ryan stepped onto the platform. The crystal beneath his feet hummed softly, and light enveloped him. He saw visions of his life, memories of Earth, his team, the people he had helped, and the challenges he had faced. Then came visions of the Seraphim Empire, long dead and abandoned, waiting for someone to restore it. He saw himself standing alone, carrying the weight of two civilizations, and felt the fear and doubt rise in his chest. But he also saw his choices: the courage to act, the willingness to help others, and the determination never to give up. Finally, the visions faded. The chamber glowed warmly, and Ryan felt a sense of clarity. His heart was steady. His purpose was clear. The Queen's question answered. Zeliara stepped onto the platform beside him. "Captain, the prophecy spoke of one who would awaken the core and unite our people. That one was you. But now there is one question that remains. The same question I asked when I first saw you." Ryan's brow furrowed. "You mean the question that shocked my team?" The Queen's golden eyes twinkled. "Yes, are you single, human?" Ryan laughed softly, shaking his head. "I understand now. It wasn't about romance. It was about connection. Whether humans would join with your people in trust and unity." Zeliara nodded. "Yes, but even more, it is also a question of the heart. One who seeks to heal a civilization must understand commitment, loyalty, and courage, not just in battle but in spirit." Ryan smiled, feeling the weight of her words. "Then I answer yes. I stand with you. Humanity stands with the Seraphim. We are not alone, and neither are you." The Queen's eyes shone brighter than ever. "Then may our peoples never be alone again." A new alliance in the following days. Ryan helped Zeliara establish communication and governance with the remaining Seraphim citizens. Together, humans and Seraphim worked to repair the core, rebuild cities, and restore technology lost to centuries of decay. Dr. Chen marveled at the blending of species. "Look at how they've adapted human tools to their technology." "It's incredible," Harper laughed. "And the Seraphim are learning teamwork, patience, and even humor. They're becoming human-friendly." Ryan smiled at the progress. "It's not about making them human. It's about sharing our strengths. We each have something the other needs. That's how civilizations survive. Even the Seraphin warriors who had doubted him before began to respect the humans. Many admitted quietly that Ryan's courage and problem-solving had saved their queen and their core. A moment of peace one evening, as the twin moons rose high above the valley, Ryan stood with Queen Zelyara on the balcony overlooking the glowing landscape. The core's light spread like a river, illuminating forests, rivers, and mountains. "You have done more than awaken the core," the queen said softly. "You have awakened hope. That is a rare gift, human." Ryan looked at her. "You and your people had it all along. I just helped bring it back. The credit belongs to both of us." Zelyara studied him for a long moment. Then she smiled, a smile full of warmth and gratitude. "Perhaps the stars brought you here not just to restore power, but to remind us what it means to believe again." Ryan nodded quietly. "And humanity has learned something too, that courage and kindness can cross the stars and even change worlds." For a long moment they watched the moons rise and the glowing valley beneath them. A sense of calm and accomplishment settled over both humans and Seraphin, departure and promise. The time came for Ryan and his team to return to Earth. The shuttle hummed softly on the launch platform, ready to carry them across the galaxy. Dr. Chen, Harper, and the other crew members checked their equipment one last time. Zelyara approached Ryan at the shuttle's entrance. "Captain Carter, before you leave, I must ask once more," she said softly, her golden eyes reflecting the core's light. "Are you single, human?" Ryan laughed lightly, remembering the first time she asked. "For now," he said, "but humanity is never alone, and neither will you be." The queen smiled, a mixture of humor and respect in her gaze. "Then may our worlds remain united, human, through trust, courage, and hope." Ryan saluted gently. "You have my word, Your Majesty. Until we meet again." As the shuttle lifted off, the golden glow of the core reflected off its hull. Ryan looked down at the world below, a planet reborn, a civilization saved, and an alliance forged not just by technology, but by trust, courage, and the enduring human spirit. A new beginning. Weeks later, back on Earth, Ryan reported the mission's success to the United Earth Expeditionary Force. The story of the Seraphin and their queen, once thought extinct, amazed commanders and scientists alike. Humanity now had not only a technological ally in another galaxy, but also a lesson in courage, cooperation, and hope. Yet Ryan never forgot the golden eyes of the queen who had asked a simple question, a question that had begun a bond between species and reminded him that even across the stars, connections could be made, hearts could be trusted, and life could flourish, and somewhere far away on a glowing alien world, Queen Zelyara watched the twin moons rise, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't known in centuries. Humanity had proven itself worthy, not through dominance, not through power, but through heart. The prophecy had been fulfilled, not by destiny alone, but by the choices, courage, and spirit of one human, and through him, a new chapter for two civilizations had begun. The universe, once dark and uncertain, now held a light that could never be extinguished.